Hello and welcome back. We are continuing our Civ 6 run playing as Dear Victoria from the Age of Steam, have an industrial focus, have a Royal Navy dockyard, and we have, last episode, started the Battle of the Bays. We got jealous of the Bay of Thang Long competing with us with their long bay of this mega bay that we are planning to construct inside of London here. So you see this bay? That's one bay. But why have one bay when you could have a bigger bay with the Panama Canal and an even bigger Bester Bay by connecting it with Leeds, Bristol, and then eventually to Johannesburg itself, except we're going to delete Johannesburg from the map. That's why this war was started, and instead we're going to build a city right there where we could connect the bay even more, so it's just one massive bay that's around 15 total tiles with which we can safely harbor our navy, except for if we have 15 boats, we don't need safety anyways. But we will continue on our merry way, and by merry way I mean sacking Johannesburg and putting a city down there as was planned. We have been consistently plundering some of the trade routes traveling through these regions, going on over to Dido, generating a lot of money to help fund the war effort. So we have Johannesburg nice and surrounded, ready to start bombarding it down, and start engaging in a little bit more of attacking it. I think that let's just get it down as quickly as possible so we can settle the city as quickly as possible here. We should be getting that probably next turn. We also recruited Sinbad the Sailor out of Bristol. We chopped it out with this builder that's here, chopping down what was underneath the canal. We know we want these squares eventually, and so chopping those out and then sending Magnus over to Plymouth in order to not lose the population to the settler was the plan there. With Sinbad, it was a little bit tempting to save him for specifically, attacking some of these cities. To be fair, we could always just pull him back if we want to do that, but I think we want to explore with him. He can eliminate naval units in one go by turning them into gold, and he could also do this with barbarian encampments. So he will represent quite a lot of gold to us, and I think that we would rather explore the Seven Seas with Sinbad rather than kind of keep him around. We're currently just farming experience on Dong Hoi with this, kind of waiting until we get through on Johannesburg. They've really exhausted kind of all of their power here, and so we should be rolling in pretty quickly. We also finished Buttress, and we have a little bit of a decision point. We are really far behind in technology. The AI gets a pretty strong boost. We're trying to make sure that we have kind of our max bonus that we can, and I think that it's very tempting to go for cartography here because this will have the most immediate help, and the other stuff don't really look that great, and I think that we could maybe make use of this fishing boat improvement, getting +2 gold, considering how many improved fishing boat tiles we have. I think this will be one of the better ones. Mass production is also, starting to go towards this, is a bit tempting to help out our workshops, but considering we have mainly harbors, I think this will be a little bit better. We do want to start industrializing, after that, I think, and moving towards industrialization, after which I think we're going to start taking off a little. We certainly have quite a bit of gold banked up. We should probably be spending it a little bit more aggressively, but I want to spend it on New Johannesburg, I think, with what we do. And so because of that, we're holding a little bit in reserve. We're going to be founding a city there. We also decided that I think this will be the nice square for our government district, in particular because I think that we will be able to have at least three adjacencies, and so what we will be doing with our very next settler that comes out of here, we'll find something else to swap onto to delay, so that Magnus will be able to get there in time. But with our next settler, the first thing we will be building out of here will be a government district, and we'll be buying a few buildings for that city, and so that's going to be this city up here in the far north, allowing us to finally leverage this. I always build this way later than I should. I know it's a huge leak, but you just want to find the perfect spot for it. This will at least be serviceable because we might end up building a campus here, and like a campus here or something like that, and so it'll hit the industrial center and 3 campuses, something, and so I think that that's better late than never, I suppose. We probably should have made it way earlier so that we would get more workers and have way more improved tiles, but it is what it is. We use our first charge on Sinbad to eliminate a barb camp right here, And I forgot that every time we eliminate a barb camp, we're going to get Eurekas. So this is going to be really, really valuable for us here. And also, our Sinbad has a ton of movement that he can use, up to 10, because we've boosted movement in several different ways. And so this is going to be really good for us. We also saw that they did raise some defense. They have some castle walls now, which is a bit unfortunate. So we go ahead and buy ourselves a catapult. We will be able to afford it, especially with the journeys of Sinbad coming in. Well, this is an exciting development. Wilhelmina is on the map, and I do believe we get bonuses when we trade with her, so we will try and play really nice with Wilhelmina. I think we might also get bonuses for trading with, if we take a look, I think we might also get bonuses for trading with Cleopatra, whom we are trying to trade with right now, but I know we get them for Wilhelmina, so we'll try and send a delegation immediately and declare friendship if we can. They don't recognize such claims. The truth hurts. Can't make any friends. We enter the Renaissance era, and we enter a glorious era, a golden age for ourselves. And just taking a look here, it does, I'm guessing there's going to, oh, there's a golden age for the Vietnamese Empire too. That's unfortunate. We get new policy slots. We'll take a look at that in a second, but the things are not looking as good as they were a couple minutes ago. The main problem is that we just actually don't have the military technology for this war to feel particularly good. Our hero's going to die in a couple turns, and while she can do some stuff right now while she's still alive, we don't really have too good an ingress or kind of angle for maybe taking Dong Hoi other than just buying a bunch of backward units or dragging the war out for an extended period of time while we get some better units. Right now, kind of inclined and leaning towards the latter, especially because we are getting like several hundred gold a turn, especially if we get to actually nab a guy with Sinbad, which it looks like maybe that's at the end. Man, there's this huge continental mass here, and the only way through is through here. That's wild as hell. Look, it stretches from all the way down here, unless we were able to build a city here after, you know, raising Karkar and build a canal there, which of course, obviously we want to do, not because it's especially good, but because we have that feeling inside, deep in our bones, where we need more canals. But one of the things that the gold has been going from Sinbad has been going towards is we bought a catapult over here and a quadrime, because things were actually looking a little bit grim for the city, and in fact, they're still looking a little bit grim for the city, in that this guy's pretty caked up and he's knocking on the door. So we're not a fan of that, but I think that we will be able to kind of stave off rebellion. And we also build our very first Crabbist monk. I think we're going to try and convert Birmingham so that Birmingham can apply pressure. I'm not 100% sure what the strategy is for these things, but we will also purchase more of these missionaries so we don't get overrun with the religion of the Vietnamese here. But things aren't looking too good. I mean, we're going to push off their advances. It's not like we're in trouble, and we could sue for peace right now if we wanted to, but I think that, you know, it's well, it's maybe if we sued for peace immediately, the grievances would start going away, so that's something, and otherwise they won't go away while we're still at war. So it's kind of a weird spot where if we have this long concerted effort, we might be able to take Dong Hoi, but is it worth it? Not entirely sure. So we just promoted Pingala in order to get a +1 research per citizen in London. And also towards the end of catching up, we have been working on several campuses. This is a +4 campus here. This right here is going to be a +1 or 2 campus. We're going to have a +1 campus over here in Plymouth. And so, you know, we are developing some of the science capability kind of coming on in, but it's not looking too well. We're gonna be getting some more science pretty soon here, but we don't have it just quite yet. And let's see what this guy wants. He wants to tell us good job, but let's see what they're doing over here in terms of not too much. I mean, we could get a decent peace deal, considering that they're losing units overall here, and maybe that's like what we want, because it's gonna be like, if we win this war, it's gonna be another like 20-30 turns, something like that. That's a little spooky up there, but I think we're going to be in good enough shape. And we do discover cartography, so we can upgrade to caravels. And very importantly, the fishing boats that we have, of which we have quite a few, are going to give additional gold. So this is going to be good. And I think that, I mean, like, so here's the thing. We could just, like, sit back and just beeline industrialization. Oh, we can't even. That's 6 techs. I didn't realize we are so many techs behind. And some of these are techs that give us military equipment. So I guess maybe we go for man-at-arms, you know, upgrading these guys, military tactics, upgrading the guys we have, and go for actually doing this war. It's unfortunate that military engineering is not something that we're that interested in, insofar as it leads to industrialization, because we would like to upgrade our siege units, but we could also upgrade these guys to caravels now. And we have a ton of money, so this is going to maybe give us a way to combat Dong Hoi. Here we're just going to use her power because she doesn't have any. This is going to be the final turn for her. I wish we had thought this through maybe a little bit earlier. I actually wish we went for Dong Hoi first instead of Johannesburg first, before they had built up walls. Having several mountains in here does make attacking them quite difficult, but it's going to make future attacks on us difficult in the event that we somehow peace out early. Like we were thinking we could put an encampment here, at which point approaching Newcastle will be very uncomfortable. I mean, we could even put like an encampment, you know, here, in which case there's like almost a pure mountainous wall, you know, in terms of areas that can ingress, especially if we have an encampment here. We just like put a fort over here or something, then literally everything is plugged up in terms of entry into our cities, because it's this hole which will have an encampment, and this hole. Kind of a little bit interesting to think of the defenses here, but probably just going too deep because the AI is too easy to tactically maneuver into this game with the tactics minigame. We are starting to finish some of these campuses, and we're given an interesting choice between a library, which gives plus an additional science for each era since it was last constructed or repaired, and a school, which gives more citizen slots. I think that we're going to go with the library in general. We're building it in a couple spots now, as well as spreading the Great Crabbistry across the entire land. We will, of course, expand it more towards... A little hemmed in on the religion here, are we? We're also building a school down here. We're moving Magnus over here because we want to chop out space for maybe building a new district, in particular thinking that we build an industrial district. We have coming in here another school eventually, and so, you know, just a couple turns ago I think we were at like mid-high 30s. We very nearly doubled our innovation, so things are starting to pick up in that regard. We'll need to pick up some form of culture. Bacteria is the only culture we have currently. And also, we purchased a few things here in Norwich and are getting working on the government plaza. Expanding quite quickly, are we? With just, you know, 4 turns or 5 turns in total till expansion. This is going to feel really good in terms of the new cities. Kind of taking a look at Newcastle. Newcastle's doing all right. We did purchase to lock in this tile over here, and also we purchased for this tile. The 3-3 tile was particularly attractive. That'll grow quite nicely, especially once our trade routes finish. We'll probably look to give these guys trade routes back to the capital to help them grow faster. In around Sunderland, we do have this builder that we want to use to kind of pick up some stuff, and so get some good, you know, building done. We cleared out this for an aqueduct. That's going to be our first aqueduct that we need for a Eureka. We also have this coming in, which is going to be pretty nice. Trying to move around keeps things going. Unfortunately, we don't have our galley over here. We moved the galley to start scouting around, which is probably a leak. We should have kept them so we could keep raiding, and I don't think we have access to another galley. This guy's not in the fight. Let's get this guy in the fight. He's just been lounging about. So what we could do is we could take some time to get, like, a different technology, like square rigging or something like this, that would help us to win this war. But this war is, like, starting to look a little... I mean, we've said this on kind of every time we check in, that the war is not looking all that great. But I just don't... I mean, we upgraded the Caravel. The Caravel is going to have a ton of melee strength. And fair enough, we're going to use this guy to upgrade him to a fleet. or a convoy or whatever the second tier one is used, because this is his activation, what he could do with it. But maybe we just get in while the getting's good on this guy. I mean, we're gonna have some chances to maybe snake some stuff here, like do a little bit of this, capture some units, and so maybe there's some merit to like keeping on going with this, but we can also pillage and yield ourselves some health. Big nice on that. Especially because Sinbad, we're gonna run out. We have 18 turns on Sinbad and 5 charges left. I'm not sure if we are going to be able to use all of that. We could come up here and start nuking some of these guys, and maybe that's what we need to do. They have to be on the coast specifically. I wonder if this guy's on the coast, or if there's a barb camp right up there, which might make a little bit of sense here. We're kind of finishing up on some of our smaller places, the trade wharfs and the fishing docks. So, you know, after this, we're going to be transitioning a lot more towards these industrial districts. And so we don't even necessarily have enough construction to start building the industrialization stuff right away. But we do want to discover coal, put it on the map, because it's going to be really, really beneficial, especially for us. And we have a bias towards coal, so there's probably a bit of coal near us, because we will get additional production from the coal, and so this is one of the reasons why we've been kind of emphasizing it. I suppose education and mass production into industrialization, we will have time to figure it out, time to build the manufactories, and hopefully be ready to kind of pop off after that and develop the rest of our nation with kind of a large pop and gold base from our harbors to begin with. This war is still giving me angst, though. The encampment is up in Bristol and is proving useful in the continuing battle. This is probably a good way to lose our quadrime, coming in for a little cheeky shot here, so I think we'll just not do it. Between the city and the other one, we did make a fleet out of these boys, though, so they have 65. That is a very large amount of offense. Unfortunately, we would need a way to break Dong Hoi before going in. We did upgrade several of our units. This guy's a man-at-arms now. He's still healing up, but he can swing around here. This guy, also man-at-arms. We're just healing up into here, enjoying the nice defense here from which we can try and push out at some point. And we might send some of these troops from up here back down. It'll take a while for them to get here, but, I mean, it's either that or send them against the barbs. To be fair, sending them against the barbs probably seems fine, and maybe we need to just keep purchasing units and this sort of thing. We also moved Liang up here, so we could buy ourselves a builder, which we can't afford yet, but that's going to be nice because we have a few tiles that are unimproved up here, which will be beneficial to improve, and we can just buy more tiles with Norwich just so that we can improve them. We might even do a farming triangle here. This seems like a reasonable spot for a farm triangle, considering we need to put a farm on that corn, and this is maybe not going to compete too much for districts, because for this city we're planning on having a district here anyways. There's already a district here, a good district probably in between these two mountains, either you know, holy site or a campus, and so I think that a farm triangle is maybe something we could get done, especially because we're kind of in the far north, although these two cities won't have too much tundra, so that'll probably be fine either way. Creeping closer to getting education, which will be nice for our cities that don't have anything to construct, and are finishing up some of these libraries and these types of things. And we also started a wonder here in the capital for the Hui Teokali, which is going to be excellent for us, because it's going to give food and production in every lake tile, and +1 amenity for each lake within one tile of Hui Teokali. Would have been really nice right here, but obviously we wouldn't have access to the caviar if we did that, and so this is going to give 3 amenity, and also we have lake tiles, 4 lake tiles here, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I think that we have even more somewhere, but I think we have, oh, that's right, 13, 14, or 12, 13, 14. So we have a lot of lake tiles that we're going to end up using, and so this will be a really nice wonder pickup for us. It's going to be our second wonder after the Oracle for the movement speed here. Maybe not the best selection, but I was figuring that this map was looking pretty chaotically naval, and the extra maneuver would probably be pretty useful, especially if, man, this continent is horribly shaped, so everything that's in this bay, like bayish area here, it was going to have to like come all the way around up through London and around here, unless we manage to pick up Karkar, raise it, and build this canal stream that we have planned. We get a nice cheeky little circumnavigation, which is going to be good for us. Very, very tempting to go after that settler. I don't think we end up picking it up though, so we'll just keep on keeping through. Sinbad, unfortunately, has had a hard time using up all of his charges. That's really unfortunate. We haven't been able to find ships. We can't get to this without the ability to move through the land of Dido. I suppose we could declare war on her just so that we could go after that. Tyre is looking pretty big. It's looking pretty big. We also need to build some of these, or buy some of those rather, which is going to be helpful for us. I think that, yeah, this place is just like hyper impossible for them to defend or to try and push, because they keep on like trying to move around here, through here, and they just get peppered with arrows from the other side, despite us having basically zero technology while they have knights. They keep on sending units. It is what it is. Okay, so we finished mass production, and to be honest, we're going to have a lot of, places that can produce the shipyard here, which is going to give, a lot of production to all of our places that have, naval dockyards, which is pretty much all of them. So maybe we don't need to super rush, especially considering the tier of tech this is in and how much industrialization is going to cost, and the fact that I think we would be able to maybe push if we had, a combination of crossbowmen as well as trebuchets. And the Niter getting appeared on the map will produce much the same positive effect that we will be experiencing here, so this will be good. They keep on trying to push through troops over and through here, but we can just pepper them with archers every time they do it, and then force them back, so there's really don't have a very good way to ingress into us. We also picked up the Admiral that we can burn in order to get an ironclad, so we have that, but like, even though this would do a decent chunk of damage to them, we still need more backup. For that backup, we have managed to secure for ourselves a little bit of iron through trading so that these units can recover, and I do believe we have this guy coming in eventually, which is going to be a really eventually. We also noticed that Birmingham does not have a road to the capital, so as far as purchasing stuff with gold goes, we will purchase ourselves a trader, and we will look to connect them to London, get more of a road network going. I think that this unit as well we might be able to just send down, and so we will kind of pivot and look to actually win this war rather than just dragging it out and seeing what we can do in terms of that. This builder, I think, is kind of used up his usefulness over here. I know we had put Magnus here in case we wanted to chop something out, but we will have some stuff to build in Liverpool, but we might end up chopping some stuff out as well. The naval dockyard was a little bit damaged by a typhoon here, and now we are going to be able to, select. I think we go fishing dockyard here, and then we're going to be going shipyard after this. And so this is going to represent a huge amount of construction for tons of our cities, but there's no point in pushing the factory tech if we already have some productive stuff for us to build. And so I think I like this kind of pivot into trying to win this war here. Alright, so we have 5 turns left with dear Sinbad, but we are gaining money. We can maybe get 2 more turns out here, and maybe if we just get super lucky, we'll be able to find barbs all around that we can get and peel more gold off of. We definitely want to buy our next 2 traders. I think we're going to buy 1 trader here and trade from there, because I don't think that they are connected yet, and we will buy 1 trader on Newcastle, because we want to draw a road back to the capital with them and boost them up a little bit as we go. We established for ourselves a merchant republic. I think we're going to keep this card in, but we're going to keep it in over here. And I don't think we have production towards encampments, harbor districts, and building upgrades for these districts. We'll slot this one up in as well, and then we will have one final diplomatic slot that we can slot in. I think that we have a lot of envoys that we have kind of saved up that we're going to want to use, which is going to be nice for us, where we just have the first level of the envoy. So we will get sending on those towards the city-states. I think that, in particular, Brussels was one we wanted to send to, and we wanted to establish a trade route towards them, because I think that's what they wanted in terms of their requests. So if we establish one, it will instead pay for two, and we will maybe want to do this with Buenos Aires. I forget what Buenos Aires's bonus is. Your bonus resources behave like luxury types, providing one amenity per type. I think that this sounds pretty good for us. So let's establish one in Buenos Aires, and then we will maybe be able to... Let's take a look if we could suzerain or be anywhere in range of suzeraining some of these more economic-oriented ones. We see that we can't, or that we won't, so we'll confirm there. And Buenos Aires, their objective is construct a fairground. I don't think we're doing that anytime soon, so let's confirm the placement. And we will discover a whole bunch of stuff, as well as become a leader of Buenos Aires. We can now make Arthur? He will transform a unit into questing knight, a unique heavy cavalry with increased combat strength and 13 lifespan. Interesting. We get kind of vision around Buenos Aires as well. Looks like they're doing kind of okay-ish. And then I think that we haven't taken our turn yet with Sinbad, so we'll move one further up, and we will get our gold, get them ducats, putting us in pretty good... Well, we're not going to get the full use out of Sinbad. Kind of tempted to just like turn around and just reconstruct him immediately, but this is kind of what these guys are getting in terms of poking their head out. We are getting more and more units into position. I think that we will try and smack down those guys, and then here is our route back to London, which we'll just double check, but it will give us a road to Liverpool, which is kind of what we want. Establish a little bit more infrastructure. I think we'll fortify these guys up right here. And then these guys, I believe we can send to... they can't reach far enough north. Okay, well that's fair enough. We were going to send them... we'll send them internally to London, but we were going to send them to Brussels, but we'll do this instead. We now have 7 out of 8 routes. I think we might have one more of these guys. This guy's probably not long for this world. We'll see if we can escape with him, but things aren't looking very good. And these guys... Can these guys go to Brussels? Well, it'll be a little bit dangerous to Brussels, but we see that Geneva also similarly wants a trade route, so maybe we could do this. This seems safe enough. It's only going to yield us 8 gold, but we will get ourselves a nice little diplomat in the process. I think that we'll bring this guy back somewhere over here. And as far as civics go, we were kind of trying to beeline, in particular, exploration, and now I think we're going to go back and maybe focus a little bit more on some of the other stuff. I don't think we need naval tradition, but getting an envoy would be kind of nice, especially while we have in this the first envoys get +1 bonus, and we couldn't get our envoy with Brussels that we quite wanted, and we did want Brussels bonus. So maybe we do this, we get another envoy, and in particular we wanted 15% production towards wonders. Thought that that would be pretty good in light of the fact that we are currently working and worrying on Hui to call. We definitely want to get this one in, and so that will help us get that down. Surely this war was all worth it if we get 2 settlers from it. We capture a poor settler from Vietnam, lurking in the wings. We started to kind of spread out our navy instead of just keeping it parked for an eventual offensive, spreading it out around and trying to isolate and choke them out. I think we need to bring another ship on over here, after which they will be properly surrounded as we bring all the troops in. You can see we finished machinery, and since we have the card that discounts the upgrades, we will be upgrading all of our crossbowmen up to the next level, which incidentally will help with metal casting as well. And then in terms of the next tech, I think that we will start on military engineering, and this will actually be perfect because we need an aqueduct, and we started constructing an aqueduct with this in mind some time ago, and so everyone should be kind of arriving at around the time that we will be getting 3 crossbowmen, 2 catapults upgraded into trebuchets, and a pair of men-at-arms. I think that we can maybe do a little bit better. So we could do something like this and hire a samurai out of there and start moving them down. That's a little bit tempting. Or we could use that samurai to disperse this up here, which is also a little bit tempting, considering he's not having much success over there. Now, these guys we would maybe be able to send to Brussels. It looks like we can't, and so maybe we want to look for a profitable trade route. This, I think, this +2 additional one, I think has to do with their unique bonus there, which will be, it's probably kind of one of the more profit-yielding ones we can do. This will yield us 15. This will yield us 15 and some other stuff as well. We could certainly go to Cahokia just for the max money, but I think we do want some amount of production here in London, considering we're working on a wonder and we would like to complete it. So I'm a little inclined to do something like this and just make sure we keep the waterways clear ourselves, which we have kind of firm-ish control over there, firm-ish. And so this will be good for us. In 3 turns, we will be upgrading these guys and getting ready to move out. And incidentally, in the meantime, we will be getting, or have been getting, a ton of experience. That's not what we wanted to see, though. We did not want to see a musketman right as we were finishing our thing. We do not want to see a musketman. See, this is the thing. They're allowed to upgrade technology, too. It's quite unfair. And we are just, like, despite kind of playing catch-up, we're still far behind. I mean, I think we could probably get something done with trebuchets, though. Maybe it's just too much. See, the real problem is also getting us around on this will be very uncomfortable, considering the 2 mountain situation and this district, such that it might even be easier to push something like Thang Long, where they don't even have well, they have this protecting basically the port as well as the way we could walk up. Really, the mountains make this entire like operation much more difficult. We could go after something like Hue, but maybe this is just like a status quo war, and we've just been lying to ourselves this entire time. With the seeing of the musketmen, that's kind of how I feel, because it's one thing for us to... I mean, we should have thought about that. It's one thing for us to, like, yeah, I mean, we have no plans on pushing gunpowder anytime soon. I guess we maybe get the peace, and this is also making it so we can't get trade deals with other people, so maybe we peace them out at this point, and look to maybe fight another day, another war, another time. A little bit disappointing here, but we'll see what they want, or we'll see what they can give us. Make peace. We will ask for some luxuries. To be fair, we're having trouble with the luxuries to begin with, and they'll give us a pretty big concession here in terms of money and make peace. And this will be nice because we just picked up that settler too, right? So maybe... Is this the best we could do? Do we see any... I don't think we saw any, like, trade routes coming out. In particular, the settler is going to be really nice for us in terms of what we could do. I don't even know where they were trying to settle. Maybe somewhere down here, which is kind of cute. We could end up settling down there. Like, right here would be nice, considering we can put pretty nice dock there. And then we will have a nice kind of... leaping off point for anything we want to do later in terms of invading down here. We could put it here, but I think that's maybe optimistic considering we didn't... If we took one of these, then we could probably sustain or withstand the pressure, but I don't think we could withstand the pressure here, so maybe we just bring this guy back kind of up to the north and try and find a place that we can put him. I mean, we could put him here. He wouldn't have full access to stuff. We could put him here. It's not a very good spot. So maybe, yeah, it is just back north, and put him kind of in one of the places that we'd already designated for settling, this type of thing. There seems to be a pretty big landmass that's relatively unscathed by other countries up here, but we haven't really discovered it that much. It's just a shame that we like have to put that war behind us. I mean, we're picking up a lot of gold by picking off trade ships. Maybe we can continue. We'll see if we get one more trade ship next turn. So this is maybe the reason to continue the war, is we're getting money like this. And that's pretty sweet, that we can keep getting money like that. And we're keeping them down by keeping on nabbing builders here, settlers there. And so, I mean, we could just slowly bleed them. Just the thing is, I'm pretty sure that these guys don't like us because we're fighting someone else. And that's why they're denouncing us and stuff. And so this cuts off our ability to trade for stuff like amenities, which can allow us to, you know, expand our guys better. Although we're doing kind of okay on amenities, so maybe it's really not that big a deal. I think this guy can upgrade, if I'm not mistaken. Just kidding. We need 10 more iron. The truth hurts. But things are cranking pretty well. I guess, I mean, it's just one musket, man. The problem is if I'm not mistaken, the way it's calculated is the defense of the city is calculated on the basis of there's like a base value that's dependent on the strongest unit that they've produced or that they have technology for or something like this. And so the musketman has made it so that this guy has really quite a lot of defense, and it's going to be a lot for us to get through. Like, our ironclad only has 70 melee strength, which was way more than when they had like 45, but now they have 67, so it's a whole lot more to get through, and it's based on how much of a differential there is. So what was once like kind of a fairish fight between our, you know, ironclad and the city, now the city absolutely crushes. And like, even with the next level technology up, I think we would need like 2 levels of technology up in terms of like getting bombards or something like this. Like, we would need to get metal casting, which, to be fair, we could push for metal casting, but then we're prolonging the time between us and getting industrialization, something like this. But again, we like don't have enough construction to really make use of industrialization just yet, or enough buildings that set up. We'll see what happens, how it looks once we get military engineer or niter, I guess, and see if we're producing stuff at a decent enough clip. So we get a little bit of a change up in our slots. We go for industrial adjacency bonuses, losing the card that was giving us a cheaper upgrades, which is fine. We also have harbor adjacency bonuses and also production towards harbor and encampment buildings, which is going to be great, and we decided to go for it. If it turns out really badly, then it turns out badly. That's just the way it be. And we're going to start getting our guys in there and get ready to start pounding on them. We're just going to push everyone in. This is the plan. I'm pretty sure I actually don't really know. I don't have a large enough sample size on Civ to like know if this works or not. I think that we have a lot of units, but maybe it doesn't work. We also nabbed a builder over here, shout out, and so things will be kind of okay for us in that regard. We're just coming up and researching some of these things for the civics. As far as the construction of here goes. Wait, why was this important? This wasn't important. But we are getting more manufacturers and stuff, which is going to be good. I'm not sure how much of these places we like want to have a permanent governor, but a lot of these from the mod give more of a bonus if you have a governor here. I don't think we're going to have a permanent governor here, so we'll just go for the manufactory and be on our way. As far as the governor title, there actually is one governor that we've kind of decided we want to have permanently, and we moved him off of where he was temporarily. We forgot to assign him, so I guess we'll assign him now, but we did move Magnus back to the capital. Wait, why can't we assign Pingala? The hell? Pingala, where are you at? Okay, well, either way, we're moving Magnus back to the capital because we wanted to chop out to finish the Hui Tukal. So this is why we're bringing the builder over here, so that he will be able to go chop and finish it up. We are also bringing over this, not this guy, this guy, to work on that, the siege unit. And then also here, this guy, we recruited this admiral who can make a, with his power, he can make a what is it, the 3-star thing out of this ironclad. Unfortunately, the ironclad can't heal, which is a little bit disappointing because we don't have any coal. And if we could trade for coal, that would be great. And if we had some coal, that would be great. And so this kind of raises up the idea, maybe we should go for the coal, especially because I don't know if we're not really saving time for gunpowder. So I think we go for this here. We are so close, though, to the canals, which of course is going to be Panama Canal, the fantastic thing. 10 gold and gives additional gold when it travels through. So we are going to travel through so many canals when we go from London. Canal, 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 canal. If we send from like London to like I don't know, Buda, we'll go through like 5 or 6 canals, which will be insane. So kind of excited for that to potentially be something we end up doing, or sending from Bristol to like anywhere. We're gonna have to go through several canals, but we'll see if this offensive works. Well, we've walked in, we've eaten 2 bombards on our trebuchets, doing 3/4 of their life, and we could do a ranged attack that does basically 0 damage here. So I mean, we could keep rotating these guys, but I think it would just take absolutely forever. So I think that we do finally, after pump faking like infinite times, I think we do finally sue for peace, because I just think that we're just too far off of the possibility of getting this done. And so we will get ourselves some luxury goods, some peace, and the offer will benefit your people, because we'll stop raiding your coasts and you'll finally be able to trade again. Our troops will get pulled back. We will be able to normalize relations. We won't have to worry about our builder, that's not their builder, but of course our builder, getting jacked up at any point in time. We'll send this guy back to heal up along his merry way, and we will become a culture of peace, except for leaving them in pieces, having razed Johannesburg to the ground over the course of this war, and gotten really the single thing that we were most concerned with, which was of course the big bay potential by razing Johannesburg and stealing that. So still relatively good for us. You know, I think we ended up spending a lot of gold on military and really didn't get anything out of it, and so this is probably going to be a substantive negative that's going to be a little bit rough for us, like in terms of the grand scheme of things. You can see we're culturally kind of backward. Technologically, we are kind of having some struggles relative to the tech leaders, especially Wilhelmina. Wilhelmina seems to be really pulling quite far ahead. Our overall score is quite high, and we have a really big military. So maybe we try and figure out a different person we could go after that would be useful. There's a lot more open land around some of Dido's, you know, kind of places, and so maybe we could make a move at Dido or something like this. A couple of people have denounced us already, like this gentleman, Mr. Gilgamesh. So I do believe that makes it so we could declare war on him. I think that this guy's been friendly with us the entire time, though, so we don't necessarily want to go after him, even though he's on our continent. But maybe, yeah, or Egypt I think we want to play nice with as well. Leaves us in kind of a weird spot. I think Suleiman's been relatively neutral with us, and so I'm not sure where we go to try and make use of this military. I think we do want to put it to some kind of use, and I guess Dido is probably the front upon which we can get the most ingress. We can get Hong Kong relatively easy. I don't think I think they only have a suzerainty of 4. So us getting Hong Kong, which we would want anyways, is maybe something that we could do. You could see that we have 2 envoy points. Or wait, we don't have 2 envoy points? What? Or we get to at 225 influence points. So we're just a little bit away from being able to do that. And maybe we can get that done there. I do think we significantly weakened them by fighting them for an extended period of time, and destroying a ton of their units, so that's something positive at least, or positive for us. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. It was a little bit of a long one, a lot of pump faking, sorry about that. I just am not very good at evaluating whether or not we could take these wars, and I kind of don't want to throw a bunch of units away. I think we would have just thrown a bunch of units away. In theory, we could have just marched past them and gone for a Hua Lu, but really, like, the terrain here is just absolutely miserable, combined with the having of, you know, these things. Really, really kind of rough. I think that almost like a D-Day landing on Thong Long might have been easier than what we were trying to pull off, which is kind of super awkward, especially with this. At the same time, them pushing into us, basically impossible as well. We have the same kind of mountainous, like, problematic areas where, like, here, if they try and push up through here, they just eat a bunch of archer fire from the back line here, and there's not much they could do about it, and that leaves just the best place would have been kind of ingressing through here. But I think what we're going to end up doing is we're going to end up creating an encampment here, maybe, if we are actually concerned or scared. We could even build a city here, and then I think we might even be able to build an encampment with these guys and build a city here, or like a fort here, like something like this, and just make it hard for them to ingress at all. We could have gone overland for Thong Long, tried to take out this first, but I'm not really sure. In any case, I think we're getting in a better spot and finally starting to get industrialized, like, off the ground. What we have is a lot of gold. You know, our gold per turn looks really strong, and we're about to have a lot of production. So I think from there we can kind of cultivate some advantages. Anyways, hope you enjoyed. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe. Do the YouTube algorithm thing. February 11th, we will be playing Civilization 7 on release. And other than that, have a good one.